Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Diane Lang. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, Wisdom of the Akashics. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to my videos, and thank you for all the likes and the comments and for reaching out to me. I'll just give you a little bit of information how to do that so we can get that out of the way. You can best reach me. One is facebook.com/Wisdom of the Akashics. I'm an advanced Akashic record reader, do very advanced work in the Akashic records actually, and certified soul realignment practitioner, which is also work within the Akashic records. And that's a process where we bring our soul back into alignment with our true purpose and our divinity. I am also an angel card reader. I am a spiritual psychic, so I channel spiritual messages to people. And I do a lot of energy work and healing work and Reiki and things like that. It's just, I have quite a modality of different things that I do. So I really just intuitively do what comes up for you when we work together as client. And if you come to work with me or coach with me or do any healing and energy work with me. The topic I want to discuss right now is about withholding, the energy of withholding and the energy of fear. They're really powerful things that are keeping us from what it is we want. So if it's the divine partner, the sacred partnership, if you feel that you have a twin flame on the earth, soulmate, there's a lot of words that are, there's so much different things that can be attached to what those mean, and they mean differently to different people. But when in this context that we're talking about, it's a finding somebody who you connect with and create partnership with at the soul level. And the soul level means it's up above, way above the needs of the ego. Very, very old paradigm to be in relationships based on ego now. We're too conscious, we're becoming too conscious. Very often one partner grows and changes in that way and the other one doesn't. We may start out looking like, I want to have children, so I need a husband, I need a breadwinner, I need somebody to implant the seed, and the husband is, I need a wife, I want somebody to take care of myself and my children, and I need somebody that can actually have children. When you go together for those reasons, you go together through egoic needs, and they don't really serve us in today's in the times, and they certainly don't serve anyone looking for a divine relationship. So there's really kind of two things that you can put in context. So if you're going to come at something with one of two vibrations, and then there's just tons of meanings within those vibrations, but it's either the vibration of love, which is joy, which is happiness, which is compassion, which is fun, which is empathy, which is kindness, or you come from the energy or the vibration of fear. Fear is doubt, fear is anger, fear is blame, fear is shame, fear is not allowing, fear is withholding. Fear is keeping ourselves protected rather than allowing our hearts to be outward and express. So underlyingly, you're going to be doing one of two things, and pretty much in all situations. So what you want to do when you look at maybe where am I withholding? What fears am I bringing to this energetic experience that is withholding me from what I really want? Because in actual fact, we actually do spend more time in thinking about what we don't want through thinking in a manner of fear than we do about what we do want. And it's often a question that people can't answer, because if you say to somebody, what do you want? And they say, well, I want to be happy. And you say, well, okay, well, define happy for me. And very often you've just stopped them dead in their tracks, because they don't actually have a context for happy. Happy is, I'm surrounded by loving and kind people. I have great relationships with my family. I'm in a career that I enjoy. I love the volunteer work that I do. I have the best partner for me. On the earth, that's understanding what happiness is. So if you don't have a context, you wouldn't even know when you were there or not anyways. So it's always you always have to start where you are, and then you move out and grow from there. And when you work with myself or a coach or somebody, that's what we do, is we start where you are, and then we move you towards what it is you desire, and then how you are the one that manifests that. And so we turn the mirror to ourselves. We have to turn the mirror around and look in the mirror. We've become very accustomed to looking outside for a lot of things. We've become very accustomed to instant gratification. We've been conditional love, being taught conditional love. It's actually comes a lot. It's not that you just naturally are like that. A lot of it is the way we are in families. Um, you have a blueprint as your soul as to how you do address life and how you do experience life, and we can look at that, and then when you're in alignment with that, things are going to come to you easier. You're going to manifest easier. You're going to get what you want, because it's going to be in alignment with your truth. So those are all different things, but they're all about reflecting into the mirror, because otherwise we're projecting. We're either self-reflecting or we're projecting out. And when we project out, it's really, we're putting our stuff on other people. And if it's somebody that we want to be in relationship with, they will shut down. They'll put up a block, a protective block, a barrier. They will start withholding from us because we're projecting our stuff at them. We have to allow everyone their process. And I'll explain it in the way, for example, if you're somebody who very comfortably makes decisions really quickly, if you see something you like, you know it, you feel it, you follow your intuition, it's a strong feeling in your heart, you have your own sense of what you know is right or wrong for you, and then you meet somebody that comes into your life that is a very passive person. They really think things through. They never make decisions quickly. They do tons of research first. They stick their toe in the water. And then when that's okay. So then they do it a little further and a little further. They're like, you're downstream before they've ever even come into the pool, so to speak. And so you have to make sure and be compassionate and understanding that might just be their process. And if they're not moving fast enough for you, it's actually something we have to look at ourselves about and give them the space and the guidance and allow them to do what their process is, rather than drive us nuts, then send out the energy based in some sort of fear energy, which is anger and frustration and impatience and all of that. So it's really an opportunity. I look at where I'm withholding, or if somebody's withholding from me, instead of getting angry and upset at them for withholding, the self-reflective question is, where am I withholding? What am I withholding? Who am I withholding from? And it may be a completely different partner, but the cause and effect is in the relationship that you're frustrated with. So you're withholding from somebody in your life that wants reaching out to you, or you're being an open, loving person to somebody, or being forgiving, you're withholding forgiveness, and then it'll play out and it'll show up in another part of your relationship. There's no exact connection that the person that you have an issue with has to be the person that you correct an issue with. It's something that you do within yourself, and then it'll show up and start to manifest and come out in really wonderful ways in all areas of your life and your relationship, because you dealt with the core issue, which could be self-doubt or anger or patience and all of those things. So when we're withholding, this is really important to understand, we're also not allowing. So if I'm withholding love, I'm not allowing love, because I'm withholding. I'm operating from a closed vessel. So if you're withholding kindness, you won't be receiving kindness. If you're withholding anger because you feel frustrated with somebody, that's what's going to show up with you, because the universe wants us to turn that mirror back around and look at self. Where am I angry? Who am I really frustrated with? Because it really, in the end, will always be about us. And when we take full accountability of looking at ourselves, we take the pressure off other people having to meet our needs externally, which is an egoic thing. And then we're allowed to be much more in flow, and we have patience, and we're willing to ride something out. And if we do get upset about it, we say, I don't want to hold on to that, because then I'm withholding. And if I'm withholding, I'm not receiving. Somebody can come along and try, show all sorts of love and kindness for you. But if you're in a withholding pattern of being mad at your past relationship or your ex or man or women, that person doesn't have any room to get in. You're not allowing the space for that to take place. So one of the things that I want to discuss about when you're with in communication with the twin relationship, we'll say, for example, your sacred partner. So for people that are actually communicating with somebody that they believe is their potentially their sacred partner, they believe in their heart and soul that they're their partner, but they're not there yet in physical relationship with them, or even if you are, but if you're not there in physical relationship with them. So we have conditions that we'll put on them, and they create the withholding, saying the energy of the vibration of the fear versus the energy of the vibration of the love. One place that you can apply the energy of holding back a little bit, though, and letting the things flow in a more natural manner is, I'm going to give you an example. You send a text message off to your significant partner that you feel is in life. You'd understand what I'm saying. So you send off a text message and say, hey, how are you today? They write back, I'm good, fine. Thanks for asking, whatever the response is. And next thing you know, you've written 11 more text messages, and they have not yet responded to any of them. And maybe they're at work, or maybe that you don't even give them space. You're not allowing them space to do that. So you're saying, oh, well, I'm over here and I'm doing this and I did this on the weekend. And what are you at? Oh, I have not back. Are you busy? And you just keep sending off of these messages. So an indicator for you to evaluate if you're coming on too strong in that relationship and you're not allowing for a balance of communication is just look at your phone, look at your text messages, look at your emails, look at your Facebook posts. If you, for every one that they put out, you have 11 going back to them, this relationship is like really imbalanced. And what happens is they go into backup mode, they go into reverse mode, they go into withholding because they can't take that much communication at one time. Some people aren't even communicators in that way. They don't even like text messaging, but we have an expectation of them to like it because it's, well, yeah, but it's me. They want to talk to me. It's all kind of lower energy stuff. So you want to really work at staying out of it. So what can happen is you get in that cycle, you bombard them with information, you bombard them with your messages and your stuff. They retract, she retracts, he retracts, they start backpedaling. They don't have time to talk to you for 11 or 20 text messages in a row. And then you get into a cycle of fear. Well, he's not responding back to me, or she's not. I don't want to get generic. So it's just whomever's in whatever role. So they're not responding back to me. What's wrong? Did he meet someone else? Is she with someone? Why aren't they answering me? Are they mad at me? And then I'm telling you, you're building the mountain of frustration and fear-based energies, and you have this little molehill over here that every once in a while goes, yeah, but I really care for him and I really like him and I really like his energy and I'm so glad that I met him, but why isn't he responding to me? Why isn't he getting back to me? Why isn't he paying attention to my text messages? I've already called her 3 times today and she's not answering her phone. And that energy is, thoughts are physical energy that are being received. And when we're sending them to a particular person, they're energetically going to that person. So you have to really be cognizant of being in a level of communication that is balanced. Hey, how are you today? No condition that they have to write back at any length in time. How many messages? 2 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour later. Trust that if they want to be in communication with you, if they're in the space and able to be in communication with you that day, that they'll say, hey, I'm good. How are you? You say, I'm good. Nice to hear back from you. Just wanted to pop in and say hi, because sometimes you have to let that be all that gets said, because we get into these diatribes of messages that we're sending out 40 to every 3 of theirs, and it can really take away from their desire to want to communicate with us. I'll give you an example. Somebody I know had a girl that they met in their life, and it's like, I really like her, but it's just texts me so much. And so, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, she starts texting me as soon as I get up in the morning. Hey, are you up? What did you have for breakfast? What's going on? And he's not really much of a communicator. He says, yeah, I'm up, doing fine. He doesn't feel like he wants to tell somebody he had poached eggs and toast for breakfast. It's not how he communicates. And then next thing you say, oh, you haven't answered me. Is everything okay? And they're like, yeah, everything's fine. Just heading out to work. And then by noon hour, turns on the phone and there's 27 messages on his phone. Well, what have you been doing all morning? Well, I haven't heard back from you. Did you go somewhere? I haven't seen you today. I just overkill. About a month or 6 weeks into the relationship, he said to me, I like her, Diane, but I cannot do this. I cannot have somebody that needs that much of my time. Because first of all, it made her very needy in his eyes, extremely needy. And so that personality type in the big picture, it was not going to suit him regardless. And he would say to her, why do you have to text so much? Why do you think because I don't answer you in 4 minutes, there's something wrong? I just don't text that much and I don't want to text that much. And then it was like, well, I don't know. I thought maybe something was up. And they could get together and they could go out and they could share some pretty, fun times together. But it was like any away time. So any time that they weren't together, it just was absolute overkill. She actually came to me because she knew that I knew this person and I knew a bit about them, and started kind of dumping about them and saying, la, 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 la. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to get in on it because it's not my place to do it. But you might want to look at some of your own behaviors. And of course, well, what do you mean by that? Why did you say that to me? And so I asked her, I said, can I ask you, do you do this? And I said, I'll be honest with you. He showed me his phone one day. And on that particular day, by about 2:30 in the afternoon, there had been over 52 or 53 text messages that day. Some of them were just small, short blurbs, but nonetheless, scroll through the text messages. And she goes, well, yeah, but, and no, sentence stops at the but. You can't have a but about that. That's not appropriate behavior. That's not balanced communication. That's not desirable communication for that person. So you have to, and so if you're gonna withhold, let the energy of that be only in the sense that you're keeping a portion of yourself back to allow that person the space that they need. You have to pay attention to how they communicate. If they communicate by sending you 2 messages and you send 30, you have to start getting down to, they send 1, you send 1. They send 1, you send 2. They send 2, you send 3. But you cannot overwhelm them with your communication. And it really is more likely an obsessive thing than it is a natural way for you to communicate. And it's going to be based on being in fear. Then you get into the withholding vibration. That asshole hasn't even called me yet today, or, I can't believe it. I sent her such a nice message before I went to bed last night and she didn't even write me. I looked, you wake up and look at your phone first thing in the morning and like, whoa, she didn't even write me back. That's all energy that's going to keep the relationship from you. So what we're doing is a big factor in why the relationship isn't coming forward. Sometimes that person isn't ready. Sometimes we're too overwhelming for them to even want to be ready. We have to take a step back and look at that. If you're a woman, you have to understand that men are, and it is changing, but by nature, men are the hunter-gatherers. Men want to be the pursuers. Men want to be the ones that come forward and take control of that situation. And women have gotten, so we're so open and independent, and we'll say what's on our mind now. We're almost like the opposite. We don't withhold anything anymore, but we're not giving them the freedom to do what they want to do. They want to actually be the hunter-gatherer. They don't want a woman that initiates every form of contact, what they do. And if they do, could possibly be a laziness on their part to even want to be in that relationship. In which case, if you literally are doing all the communication and they're okay with it and they don't contribute, then the question, you turn the mirror around and you ask yourself, is this what I really want in my relationship? Is somebody that doesn't contribute? So you have to start to evaluate those things, but evaluate them from a level of honesty and including yourself in the equation. Because if we just look at them, we're not going to get the story. And so when somebody comes to me and starts talking to me, I always want to hear the basis of the story, the Reader's Digest version of the story. But if it's they, he, they did, she did, he did, and then, 5 minutes in, they haven't even mentioned themselves, I'm going to say, okay, I got that picture. Let's talk about you. And some people don't want to do that because they want to make it about them. And that is not an attractive thing to have somebody that you want to receive you in their life when you're making everything about them. It's too much for people. It's too much for the other soul. It's too much for their desire to be in the relationship. And we're giving them reasons for them to stay in the fear vibration of wanting us around them. So what you want to do is, when you catch yourself in the fear vibration, is what I'm going to call it, you go to shift to the love vibration. And so it's like, okay, you look at your phone and you go, okay, they said hi, or I said hi, they said hi back. And now I've actually looked today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 messages I've sent. I'm overkilling. I'm not going to be mad about them for not answering, because I'm energetically doing the overkilling. So they're energetically going to be doing the backpedal. And so then you say, I apologize. And you do this etherically. You don't have to start sending the text messages saying this. You can just, I apologize for sending so much energy to you today. I really just want to love you. I really enjoy getting to know you. I love the kind, loving vibration that I feel from you. I think you're a really beautiful soul, a really beautiful person. I'm so excited to be getting to know you. I can't wait to hear from you. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'm going to let you write next. And then you let that energy go out into the universe and you put your phone away. Now you're going to start to shift. This is the mountain. This is the molehill. This will become the mountain. This will become the molehill. And then that energy is something that you can draw to you. You can draw someone to you when you stay in the love vibration. If you're not able to be with the person that you want to be because your twin relationship, your sacred partner, is in another relationship, or they're coming through something, or they're not, the timing of them being ready isn't the same as the timing of you being ready, because that's really, really big. And if you actually in a heart level know that, that's when you would call in and ask and trust. I have faith and trust in this divine timing of this relationship. I have faith and trust that the universe will bring this forth when it's meant to be. I have faith and trust that they are getting ready, that they are doing their work, and that they will, and that this relationship will come to me in right timing. Because if somebody comes to us before we're ready, it's the chances of we are lowering our chances of that being a successful relationship in the big picture. And if it's really what you want, we don't want to lower our chances. We want to improve our chances. And you got to look in the mirror. If we're talking about the other person all the time, I can tell you right now, you're not getting your lessons, because you're not talking about yourself. You're not going within. You're not asking, who am I in this? How am I behaving in this? What am I sending out? So it's just like really tap in and just start shifting. Okay, I'm in fear. I want to go. I'm switching to love, and love simply might be, I'm sorry. And if you want to really learn a process by which doing it is, go study Ho'oponopono, and it's a prayer that says, I love you, and that's, I love you, universe. I love you, God. I love you, spirit. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being everything to me. Thank you for giving me all of this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the energy that I'm putting out into the universe that is not serving me well. Please forgive me. So you're asking forgiveness in the sense that you're saying, I know this is my stuff, so I love you. I love myself. I love the universe. I love my sacred partner. I'm sorry I'm dumping my energy into your field, which is causing you to want to stay away from me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for doing that. And this can be energetically. But you say the 4 sentences, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and then in faith and gratitude, thank you. Because you can trust that the universe is saying, yes, we absolutely get that. We absolutely forgive you. Energetically, that person is being given space to forgive you. You are being given space to forgive yourself. And in truth, Most of us actually have stuff we have to forgive ourselves for before we can fully open up to receiving the kind of love that we want, particularly when you're looking for a soul level relationship. We have to love who we are at soul level for anyone else to step in. So I hope that helps. I think I'm complete. If you have any questions or comments about it, I really appreciate them. You can leave them in the comment section of the video. You can catch me at facebook.com/Wisdom of the Akashics. If you don't have Facebook, you can get me at Wisdom of the Akashics, and Akashics is AKASHICS @gmail.com. And just state who you are. Diane, I watched a video and I'm interested in knowing more. If you want to look at coaching with me, give me a shout out about that. I have some really great packages that I put together for that. I do one-off angel readings. I do find, though, that for the most part, we don't get most of our stuff in one session. We can get in and get the surface of the onion, but really you want to look at things in a little bit more in-depth way. And then we figure out that together. Do you need 2 coaching sessions, 3 coaching sessions? Do you want the Akashic Records read first? And stuff like that. And I have a free 20-minute consultation to talk to you about that and to tell you who I am. 5-minute Reader's Digest version from where you're at. I tell you where I am at, what I offer, what gifts I have to bring to the work that I do, and then we decide if there's something that we could be doing together that's going to assist you in growing and advancing and expanding in your journey and getting out of the stuck vibration, the withholding vibration, the fear vibration, and start living all aspects of your life in that love vibration. Thank you again. Namaste. A big hug out to all of you. So much appreciate you, the videos and the great feedback that you guys are giving me. Have an absolute blessed day. Diane Lang, Wisdom of the Akashics. Bye-bye.